One's seeing power should be increased through knowledge of spirit and matter, and one should not unnecessarily identify himself with the body and thus become attracted by bodily relationships. Perfect. The conditioned souls are eager to identify with the body and consider that the body is myself and that anything in relationship with the body or possessions of the body is mine. In Sanskrit, this is called aham mamata, and it is the root cause of all conditional life. A person should see things as a combination of matter and spirit. He should distinguish between nature of matter and nature of spirit, and his real identification should be with spirit, not with matter. By this knowledge, one should avoid the false bodily concept of life. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta. When we are trying to become devotees, invariably Gita, Bhagavatam, our scriptures talks of many rules and regulations. They advise us to lead a disciplined life, to control many things, control our mind, control our senses, yama, niyama. So question to all of you, we have been discussing from Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. What is the most difficult thing to control? Raise hands one by one. What is the most difficult thing for a soul, for an Atma, a conditioned soul, who is in this material world, for him to manage or to control? What is the most difficult thing? Ego? Anybody else? Desire and mind. Okay. Anybody else? Yes, Sunil. Attachment. Senses. Yes, Ashul. Senses. Anybody else with a different answer? Mind. Anirudh? Wait. So it is said that the controlling point for the senses, the master of the senses, is the mind. We cannot control our senses unless we control our mind. Now, we cannot control our mind unless we control our intelligence. We cannot control our intelligence unless we control our false ego. So even in the Gita, Krishna talks about hierarchy of selves. One has to control the lower selves with the higher self. So what is the hierarchy? We have the senses. Senses are controlled by the mind. Mind is controlled by the intelligence. Intelligence is supposedly to be controlled by the soul. But in between the soul and the intelligence, there is a plunderer who comes in, and that is false ego. Now, what is the function of false ego? So, like some of us said, controlling the senses, it's very important. Unless the yoga indriya samyamya, real yoga is impossible unless the senses are samyamya, are controlled. So, the senses cannot be controlled unless we control the mind. If artificially we try to control the senses, like many people, They want to lose weight. I will not eat this thing or I will diet. So, yes, by some force, some determination, some willpower, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 2 kgs come down. Then again, because it is repression. So, we cannot control the senses unless we control the mind. We cannot control the mind. Why our minds are many times agitated? Because our intelligence is not steady. It is not controlled. We don't have spiritual intelligence, sharp spiritual intelligence to discriminate between matter and spirit. We don't have sharp intelligence, spiritual intelligence to make the right choices. Every moment life throws up choices. What to see, what to eat, what to hear, what to do, what to associate with, whom to associate with. Choices are there every moment. So we cannot control the mind unless we control the intelligence, and we cannot control the intelligence unless we control the ego. What is ego? We are not talking about false ego. Ego means, the definition of ego means, is ego good or bad? Ego is good. Ego is good or bad? Good. If people say, don't, do not be so egoistic, you're so egoistic. What does that mean? Ego is useful. Ego is good or bad? So, ego means identity. Who you think you are. Who you think you are is ego. So, in that sense, ego is not bad. False ego is bad. When you think that I am the body, when you think that I am the controller, I am the enjoyer, I am the Lord, that is false ego. And that is bad. Just like knife, is it good or bad? Depends on what use we put into. Knife in surgeon's hand is good, knife in a terrorist's hand is bad. So ego, when we identify ourselves as to who we are wrongly, identify with the body, with the bodily relationships, that is called false ego. Now what is the function of ego? What does ego do? Because of ego, what happens? Why it is said that unless we control the ego, we cannot control the intelligence? Why? The function of ego is what? Function of ego is to desire. Desires are produced based on our identification. If we identify with the body, then invariably we'll have sensual desires or materialistic desires. If we identify ourselves with the spirit, that I am spirit, aham brahmasmi, which is self-realization, we'll have another quality of desires. Desire we cannot stop. Prabhupada also had so many desires. Sometimes people think that, we are suffering or miseries because of desires and we should minimize or abolish or vanquish all desires. That's not possible. So, false ego results in wrong desires. If I identify myself as Indian, or just give you an example, if I identify myself as Indian, so my desire will be how I can make my country proud. What should I do so that it furthers the interest of my country? You see another kind of desires? If we identify with the family too much, very selfish desires. What the whole life revolves under me and my family. So, what does intelligence do? Intelligence takes out the desire which the ego brings forth and executes it through the mind and senses. Is that clear? The false ego produces desire, and intelligence picks up that desire and executes through mind and senses. So, all of us are acting, everyone in this world is acting, doing different things. Using their intelligence, using their mind, using their senses. Somebody's senses is controlled, somebody's senses is uncontrolled, somebody's a drug addict, somebody's a drunkard, somebody's a womanizer, whatever it is. All the senses, mind, intelligence, they all are executing the desires which are coming from the false ego. So the real purification, if we have to seek or if we have to aspire for, is at the ego level. Come again? It is not at all bad. To be ambitious is not at all bad, but ambitious for what is to be questioned. Ego is not bad. Desire is not bad. Ambitious for what? If you're ambitious is, you're very ambitious, I should purify, I should become a very nice devotee. I should become very disciplined. Nothing wrong. I should control my ego. I should very ambitious to control the senses. I will not let my senses dictate me. I will subjugate my senses in a proper way. That is, one can be ambitious. I want to earn millions of dollars so that I can buy a big bungalow and very nicely enjoy life, have a private this thing and go on a private cruise and that also ambition is there. But that ambition in the long run will not be in our real self-interest. It will implicate us, it will entangle us, it will lead to our senses and mind getting more and more uncontrolled. Why more money? If suppose false ego is not checked, a person is ambitious, he needs more money. His desires is what? How I can enjoy my senses more, how I can enjoy my material pleasures more royally. So is it clear? Above this false ego is what? The soul. So our scriptures give an example of a chariot driven by 5 horses. The 5 horses represent the senses. The reins which control the horses is the mind. The chariot driver is the intelligence. And the passenger sitting in the chariot is the soul. What is false ego in this chariot? What is false ego? In between the driver and the passenger. Delusion that chariot is? Typically, in the chariot, the instruction, the flow of command comes from the passenger. Passenger to the driver, driver to the reins. Driver controls the reins, and then the direction is passed on to the horses and they move in the direction in which the passenger has to go. Now imagine, just like these days, sometimes the flights gets kidnapped. The plane has to go from Delhi to Hyderabad, but a terrorist comes and tells the pilot, you don't go here, you go there, and takes the plane to Pakistan. So this false ego is like a terrorist who has kidnapped our mind-body system. Instead of plane going towards Krishna, and now it's going towards somewhere else. So now, spirituality is all about dismantling this false ego and cultivating real ego. What is real ego? What is real ego? I am servant of Krishna. Krishna is my master. Real enjoyer is Krishna. That is real ego. And what is a false ego? I am the center. Aham mameti, I and mine. The world revolves around me. I and mine. Aham mameti. मैं और मेरा. What is real ego? The false ego is मैं और मेरा. What is real ego? तू and तेरा. To the Lord, and Tera, everything what we see is belongs to the Lord, including me, including my body, including my soul, including my senses, including my mind. So false ego is aham mameti, I and mine. Here also Prabhupada says, in Sanskrit, this is called aham mamata, I and mine. Identifying anything in relationship with the body or possessions of the body as mine. Now that cannot suddenly switch. It cannot be a 0 and 1 kind of a thing. We are conditioned soul. Everything is I and mine. Aham mameti. I am the body. These are my relatives. I am the enjoyer. I am the master. I want to be famous. People should glorify me. Now the shift has to happen from I and mine to the Lord and His. And that shift happens when we practice the principles of devotional service and purification of consciousness happens. When we are driven by false ego, and when we suffer multiple failures or recurring failures or repeated failures in life, what will be the result? Suppose somebody is driven by false ego, aham mameti, I and mine. He has no understanding that Lord is in control, the Lord is the real controller, and he meets repeated failure in his life. What will he go through? Depression. And if a person is predominantly driven by false ego and he meets with success in life, he becomes big, he starts earning a lot of money, he has a good career growth, he becomes CEO of a company at a young age, what will happen? He'll become proud. Pride will set in. This is success gets into the head. Power corrupts. When a person is driven by real ego, when he is conscious that the Lord is the supreme controller, everything is happening, nothing, not a blade of grass moves by the Lord's sanction. When he meets with failures, what happens to him? Will he get depressed? What will he think? Huh? It's Lord's will for me to fail. He, in spite of failure, will not lose heart. He will not lose enthusiasm. He will not get depressed because he has that faith and the conviction that yes, maybe I am not good enough, I don't have that ability, but by Lord's grace, by Lord's mercy, mukham karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripa tamham bande. By the grace of the Lord, even a lame man can cross mountains. By the grace of the Lord, even a person who is dumb can speak eloquent poetry. Pangum langayate, Pangu means lame man, langayate girim can cross over. So he knows anything is possible for the Lord. The Lord is the supreme controller. Everything is coming from Him. By the mercy of the Lord, everything is possible. So he will not be depressed. And when he meets success, if he has the real ego, what will happen? He will not become proud. This is everything is given by the Lord. I am just a Kshetragna. The credit goes to the Lord. Many times, if we are blessed with some abilities, suppose somebody is a good singer and he sings nicely, even Kirtan also. Somebody, क्या गाया तूने आज? कमाल कर दिया. Now, if we have thick false ego, what will come? Yeah, yes, thank you, thank you. And that false ego becomes even more thick. If a person is having good consciousness, proper shravanam is there, proper reading is there, and somebody comes and says, "You sang very nicely. क्या बोला तूने आज? क्या गाया?" What will he think? It is all Krishna's grace. Now, some of us may speak very so-called, अभी थोड़ा humble भी दिखना चाहिए ना थोड़ा बहुत, नहीं तो बहुत थोड़ा सा उससे भी या it's all Krishna's. But heart of heart, हाँ मैंने गाया. A devotee, true humility cannot be imitated. Many times when we hear of we should be humble, we think that humility means at the external level. हल्का सा बोलो, थोड़ा सा हल्का सा walk करो. Or sometimes a devotee is very angry. That doesn't mean that he is not humble. Sometimes he may shout. True humility means where a person is situated in the consciousness that nothing is mine. Everything what is happening, if I am able to speak, I am able to convince anybody, I am able to talk, I am able to see, it is all Lord's grace. All ability what I have is Lord's. And when a person is convinced, not superficially, not at an external level, but within the core, no pride can set in. No pride can set in. He will go through ups and downs in life. When success comes, pride cannot touch him. When failures come, depression and dejection cannot touch him. That's why one of the quality of the devotees is equipoised in happiness and distress, in pleasure and pain, in fear and anxiety. Is equipoised. Now it cannot be artificially done. If at the ego level we are maintaining the consciousness that everything is the Lord's, every Lord is the supreme controller, then and only then we can practice this true equanimity. Otherwise, some ups and downs will come in life, we completely get rattled. Success comes, we get overjoyed, enthusiastic. A devotee is equipoised. Because of this real ego, the proper consciousness, a devotee knows that actually I am zero. If we have two zeros, 0 and 0, what is the value? 0. If we have 5 zeros, one after other, 0, 0 and big zeros, what is the value? 0. If I have millions of zeros, the value is 0. If you add 1 in front of the zeros, all the zeros have value and meaning. You remove that 1, all the zeros, the value is 0. No matter how many zeros we have. So, devotee, real ego means proper consciousness, means Krishna consciousness means. What is real ego? Real ego means Krishna consciousness. False ego means material consciousness. So, a person who is situated in Krishna consciousness, he knows that Krishna is that one. If I am able to sing, it is because of Krishna. If I am able to do anything, it is because of Krishna. If I have some money, it is the grace of the Lord. He is the true proprietor. When he withdraws that power, I am zero. Out of false ego, a zero can act like hero. And by the real ego, even a so-called accomplished person will believe that actually I am zero, but it is all Lord's grace. So, what are we trying to achieve? What are we trying to do in spiritual practices? It is not just, it's a serious business. Although some of us may initially would have got attracted because it gives us peace of mind, it is good, अच्छा लगता है कीर्तन मुझे मजा आता है. But otherwise, the root cause of our misery, our entanglement, our misfortune is the false ego, impure consciousness. Now, how to dismantle this false ego? We have false ego, right? False ego, unless we don't control false ego, we cannot control the intelligence. Unless we control intelligence, we cannot control the mind. Unless we control the mind, we cannot control the senses. Unless we control the senses, we cannot practice yoga, real yoga. Lord is far, far away from us in our consciousness. So, how do we control the false ego? How do we dismantle, destroy this false ego and awaken real ego? How do we do that? Huh? Very important, very good. The most important thing to dismantle this false ego is association of devotees. Sangat sanjayate. What is the next word? Kama. Kama means desire. Sangat, from the association we keep. Jaisa sang, vaisa rang. Man is known by the company he keeps. There's a saying, tell me who your friends are, and I will tell you what kind of person you are. Now, we may have some official friends. We have to interact in this world. When I'm studying, I'm teaching in a college, I may have my faculty members, colleagues, or I'm there. Whom are you intimately associating with? Whose company you really relish to be part of? That defines you. If you feel very comfortable in the company of a drunkard, and people are talking about all materialistic talk, that is the kind of consciousness you have. Birds of same feather flock together. If for some reason earlier you were enjoying the company of your friends who were talking about, this Bollywood actor, this Bollywood actress, this movie, that movie, and now you are feeling a little unsettled, uncomfortable, you don't like that company, you don't feel like talking to them and all those things, this indicates that purification of the consciousness has set in. Still, we may have some inclination because purification doesn't happen 0 and 1. If we like coming here, if we like hearing Bhagavatam, we look forward to, that is an indication that we are on the path of purification. Come again? Yes. Yes. So association is not just talk. Association could be through Vani, through words, through the books. Satsang. You are right. You are right. So, so that's why we should always aspire for the purer and purer association. You're right. Suppose the choice is between assuming that somebody likes, we have many lectures on YouTube, let's say my lecture and Prabhupada lectures, we should cultivate taste and desire to hear Prabhupada. Because what happens is, purity is the force. What initially attracts us is eloquency, speech which has lot of stories, anecdotes, masala. When I was new to Krishna consciousness, I was very, very attracted to bhajans of Anup Jalota. And I was really in a big dilemma. In those days, it used to be cassette players. It was not even DVD, not CD, cassette players. So I had Prabhupada, Hare Krishna Dhun, and then Anup Jalota. Now, morning, I was always in a dilemma. First thing in the morning, what to play? If I play Prabhupada, it was Hare Krishna, that normal, I can't even sing right. So it was normal though. And somehow that Anup Jalota, Maya Mori, that, with all that feelings, it used to really pump me up in that sense. Whatever that pumping must be, I don't know. See, initially our what drives us is different. Now we know in the newspaper what we have been hearing about. What is the consciousness of that person? What is going on in his mind? He is already married 3 times, now has affair with a 28-year-old, this thing. And he's singing very melodiously, with a lot of bhav, with a lot of emotions. Now somebody is very fond of kirtan. Mujhe sunna hai kirtan. But that real purification will not set in. He will get some pious entertainment. Many times people go for even Bhagavad Katha or this thing like that. And the people are there, क्या गाते हैं, क्या बोलते हैं, श्लोक करते हैं, ये करते हैं, वो करते हैं, मजा आ गया, बहुत रस आया, बहुत आनंद आया. But when they come back, life remains as there is no change in lifestyle, there is no change in habits. So in one place I was reading, it's more like pious entertainment. Entertainment also can be impious, and entertainment can be pious. So, association. We should look for purer associate with pure devotees. Then that purification will, jaisa sang, vaisa rang. Their purity, their pure consciousness will rub on us. So how to dismantle this false ego? By regular association. When we associate with wrong people, when we have wrong association, our false ego, what happens false ego? It thickens. Just like we don't take bath, that layer on our body, dirt. Sometimes, we go to car mechanic or for repair of these things. There are some boys, helpers there. Whole skin is black, grease and all that. Have you seen that? Yes? They have not taken bath. Grease has, So false ego thickens, and when we regularly nashta prayeshu bhadreshu nityam bhagavata, when we hear on a regular basis, read, chant, hear, shravanam, kirtanam, we do all that, then the false ego on a daily basis, false ego increases because we cannot completely cut all wrong association. Sometimes we are forced into it. It may not be in our circle of influence. So invariably the false ego expands. And again, when we hear, when we chant, association of devotees, it now net at the end of 1 year or at the end of 1 month, your false ego has become more thick or thinner, depends on what association you have predominantly kept. If predominantly we have महीने में एक बार आए क्लास के लिए, then invariably the false ego would be more thicker than what you came last time. But if you are daily basis reading Prabhupada books, on a daily basis chanting, on a daily basis, or every week you are coming here, hearing this thing and all that, so as time passes by, our false ego becomes thinner. And what is pure devotee? No false ego, zero false ego, and real ego. Prabhupada, when he went to America in the Jaladutta Dairy, he is writing, "Oh Lord, I have no power to speak. I do not know how I will convince them of your message. Make me dance the way you want me to dance. I am a puppet in your hand." And then he signs an insignificant beggar, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. That is his conscience. Although he preached very vigorously, forcefully, noble laureates he came, he used harsh words, "You rascals, you foolish." But what is going on in his heart? I'm an insignificant beggar. I'm a puppet in your hand. Make me dance the way you want me to dance. Sometimes if we see superficially, say Prabhupada was very proud. He's speaking so, this thing, he's calling someone foolish, calling someone rascal as if he thinks that he knows everything. It appears so unless you know what's there in the consciousness. Anup Jalota appears so that he has a lot of devotion, but what's there in the heart is something else. It appears that a pure devotee is also proud. Appears that pure devotee is very passionate. Appears that he is very ambitious. Appears that he has a lot of desires. Prabhupada said, double it, double the book distribution. A businessman also says, double it. But for Krishna. So what happens is, if we don't check our false ego, as I mentioned, pride can set in. I can start thinking and believing that now I am an advanced devotee. It actually happened, one folk student, this was in Bangalore. He started coming for the sessions and started chanting and all that. So about 4-5 months down the line, he came to me and he says, Prabhuji, आपको एक बात बताऊं, सच बात बताऊं? मैंने कहा बताओ भाई। प्रभुजी, काम और क्रोध ये दो चीज तो कंट्रोल में आ गया पूरा अभी। अब ये बस सिर्फ मोह, बस ये थोड़ा सा बाकी रह गया है, काम और क्रोध तो पूरा कंट्रोल में हो गया है। False ego can also make you believe that now I'm an advanced devotee. ये तो सब छोटे लोग हैं, अभी ज्वाइन किया गीता क्लासेस, देखो मैं तो 2 साल से आ रहा हूं। In fact, the more advanced the devotees, the more lower he thinks. He thinks everyone is a better devotee than me. In fact, he says that everyone is a devotee, but I am not a devotee. Duryodhana and Yudhishthira, you heard of this story? He was asked, go and find out in a town. I may not be able to exactly recollect, but essence you will get it. So Dronacharya asked them, go and find out in a town who is, it was Duryodhana and Bhim. So, Bhima or Yudhishthira, I don't know, Yudhishthira. Anyway, let's hear the essence of what happened. So Yudhishthira Maharaj or Bhim went in the city and came back. He says, I looked around everywhere. I met so many people. I come back convinced that everyone is better than me. I am the worst of all. And Duryodhana also was sent on the same task. He met so many people, interacted with so many people, and he again came back to Dronacharya and he says, I have come back and I saw so many people, each one had some or the other fault. I have come back convinced that of all the people in the city, I am the best. So one of the symptom of real ego or pure consciousness is he thinks that I am so fallen. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was asked, why are you dancing? You are, immersed in love of Krishna. You are dancing. You're completed. He said, that is all show. Drama kar raha hu main. If I have really devotion for Krishna, then I will not be in this material world, away from Krishna. This is all ये तो दिखावा है. Actually, it was not दिखावा, but he says so and actually believes also. So false ego is the one which makes us feel proud. I am so and so. I am a great person. I sing nicely. I have this ability. I can do this. It's because of me. So many people are eating because of me. This whole institution is running because of me. Because of this happened. If I were not there, people cannot manage. So anyone has any question, anything like to ask based on what we discussed today? Sometimes only. No, I was about to congratulate you because sometimes it happens. See, what happens is we all are in very bad state of affairs. It is like trying to ignite fire and then थोड़ा सा वो आया 4 बकेट पानी का डाल दिया. Literally, that is what is happening in our lives. Man, visualize you are trying to, you have a pile of wood and थोड़ा सा उसमें घी रखा, camphor रखा, and you put one matchstick and some fire comes and थोड़ा सा हवा गया, थोड़ा सा, so that fire comes up. And a little bit fire has started coming. Then, somebody comes and puts 4 buckets of water. And then, we're trying to dry the wood and then put some more camphor and put kerosene also. And then somebody said, no, petrol dalo, petrol bhi dal diya. And then again we light fire. By the time some little bit fire come, again 4 bucket pani. And then we ask, मैं 5 दिन से चला रहा हूँ ये सब, अभी तो धुआं ही आ रहा है. There's a lot of leakage of consciousness. What we do throughout the day. अभी भागवतम सुना, फिर वहां जाके चित्रहार देखा, फिर वहां जाके एक मॉल में मूवी भी देख ली एक. The net is inflated false ego. Don't mind, I'm just saying all of us are in the same boat. Please do not mind, I'm not targeting anybody. This is what is happening. We are going 2 steps forward, 5 steps back. Now depends on our level of sincerity. We go 2 steps and go 4 steps back because going back is natural for us. Going forward is going against the current. Going back is with the current. You don't do any chanting, anything with the current, you will go away. सब धीरे धीरे शुरू हो जाएगा. When I came to Bangalore, when I got a job in Kurukshetra, when I was practicing Krishna consciousness, I gave up tea, I gave up coffee. I was in association of devotees. When I came to Bangalore, started working, and slowly, association of devotees was less, and it was not a weekly this thing. The temple was very far initially, and then I saw that how little by little in the office, afternoon feeling tired, so someone le yaar ek le le, and started taking tea, and the mind also said ki farak penda hai. One tea cup, good, thoda tajgi aayegi. And with fresh mind you can chant. Logically it is sound argument. की फर्क पैंदा है? Mind will say, छोड़ यार principle में क्या लगा रखा है? Everyone in the office is taking tea coffee. You are a special. वैकुंठ से आया क्या तू? तू भी ले. And then, like that, little by little, you fall. This is what Maya is all about. Maya means truth. What is Maya? Maya is agent of the Lord. What is her function? To filter insincere souls from approaching Krishna. Krishna is busy dancing and engaging in loving pastime with his sincere devotees. Now, insincere devotees, there are many filters. चाय ले ले, ठीक है चाय ले लेता हूँ, चलो बैठ जाएगा. Any other question? Yeah, it is true. In fact, it is said that in the beginning, rules and regulations should not be very. If suppose somebody comes for the first time and says, if you want to practice this principle and chant, you give up smoking, give up tea, give up coffee, give up this thing, he will not come next time. So Prabhupada also never did that. We also don't. How many of us we have directly told give up tea, coffee? Our process is you start chanting, you start hearing, automatically these things will give up. Automatically it will give up. Our main process is not to make everyone vegetarian, main process is not to make everyone give up tea, coffee. The main process is they taste a higher taste, relish a higher taste. When a person relishes higher taste, automatically the lower taste pales off.